Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Health and Hope. I'm glad you guys are here tonight. Beautiful weather outside, and I wouldn't have faulted you if you'd wanted to stay home and play in the pool or whatever you got going on these days. All right, so Terry, we would love for you to come up and just kind of bring us together for our community time.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Last week we did commitment, right? So I made a commitment to myself to be in perpetual motion. Okay? Perpetual motion. Okay? Because that's what we had learned about. So, I don't like commitment, except to be committed to Lynn, of course. But I don't like commitment. So for me, that was huge. And with it, what happened was I weighed 128 last Monday. And today, I proudly weigh 124. Wow. It's the most weight I've lost in a week since forever. So of course, I'm ecstatic. I'm like over the top. So it's like another thing that shows that when we apply our books and we apply what we're learning and, doing the program, it works. It really works. So with that, that's my little bit of a success. And I can't tell you how elated and happy and filled with inspiration that I am, because it worked. And so that's going to be our topic tonight, inspiration. But first, I started with a success. There's a couple other people in here that have huge success stories in here. And one of them these are two of them right there, that they need to come up here and speak about what they've done.
Right here.
Come on.
Here goes his volunteer stuff again.
The camera wants to see you.
Just like the army.
Right here.
We're all volunteering you.
I'm not one of these people.
You're not one of those people to come
Not
up
like
here?
you.
Well, you don't have to be like me. You be cute, you.
Come on, Liz. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Let's talk about this.
I'm so proud of him.
Oh, don't even go there. If I knew this was gonna happen, I might have stayed home. But, well, it's, she calls it inspiration, is that what the word you
Just
used?
go right
Okay.
now.
I don't know that big word you used at the beginning, so,
Commitment?
no.
Perpetual.
Perpetual
perpetual.
motion. Perpetual
Yeah.
motion.
But anyway,
Tell your success story.
okay. I started out, 52 or 53 days ago. I was 238 pounds. And I set a goal I wanted to get 200. I have went through 4 belt holes, and this is kind of sad, but well, it's good now. All the shorts like these, and I had about 6 pair, I could not even wear last year. So that worked. And today I set my goal when we started this program, and I set my goal for 200 pounds. And this morning I was 199.8. I did break the 200 pounds, but every once in a while you get, I was getting a little frustrated. Again, you can, the first 10 pounds or so I had to lose. It could just fall off. All I had to do was quit drinking a bottle of pop every few hours. But I really got hooked on the water and the Crystal Light. And, I like the taste of water, but the Crystal Light helps. And so yeah, I didn't get really depressed about not losing here, and then all of a sudden, now it's like every 4 days or every 3 days, something like that, I might lose a pound. But it's coming off slower, but before I really had it to come off, and it's just, coming here and stuff like that. It's inspiring. It keeps you going. And right now I'm at the point where I said 200. Now, and I got more I can go. So Terry and I talked, okay, I'm gonna order one more. I'm gonna order another month's worth. But I'm gonna get with you, for simple reason, after I have my one dinner a day, or whatever, that's 6 ounces or 5 or 7, whatever it might be, you just feel a lot better. I do. It's and I do them the olives and stuff like that in between. If I feel them, I feel, man, I just feel a little spacey or whatever, and it does. It happened. I told Terry, I said, I don't know if I can keep doing this, but it does, and I'm going to continue. I'm going to do some more. I got a little bit more to lose, but the program does work, and I could not, if I would have thought that I could have lost this kind of weight when we started. I wasn't expecting this kind of outcome. I really wasn't. And then after you lose some, you get down there, you're kind of, I can do 5 more pounds. This wasn't too bad. I can do 5. Then all of a sudden you're getting close, and all of a sudden you hit that 5, and then you're dropping, say, another half pound on top of that. Well, if I can do a little bit more, if I stay with it, I can do a couple more. And that's what kind of got me through that. I was setting goals for myself as I go. I'm just saying I can do that, so.
Wrap her up.
I have to do this around.
Yay for Lynn, everybody! Yay for Lynn! Woo, 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 woo. Okay, we have like another time for another slot for a success story. Come on, Rex.
Yeah.
Go Rex, go Rex, go Rex.
Don't talk as long as Lynn did.
Go Rex, go Rex.
Full time we need. I can talk for hours. Yeah, I started out extremely heavy and needed to get a new hip. So Grace happened to have been talking to Shelley, and here we are. And it's really worked for me. I'm down 36.9, and still a long way to go, but yeah, I ain't giving up. I'm sure it's gonna help on my hip and help my nurse from having to drag me out of bed.
That's phenomenal.
And I may say that your nurse looks amazing too. You can
She does.
see it in
Do you
her
wanna-
face.
Okay,
Is your
so
nurse
is the nurse?
Not there yet.
Oh, you look great though, Grace.
Okay, so Shelley, good job on encouraging her. We'll do a soft one for you. We're looking forward to your success up here soon. You're doing great. So keep on going, Grace. What's the time like, Mylan?
2 more minutes.
Okay, short on inspiration, okay? Because these stories, and we can see that it works, and we know that it's working, and so what is that? That's inspiring, isn't it? And it's like, what does inspiring mean, or how do you describe an inspirational person? Inspirational people don't just talk about what is important to them, they act upon it. So we are activators, action people, but that's pretty good. They find a way to overcome every obstacle, okay? We stuck to it. We're sticking to it, and we are doing it. And these individuals are innovative and forward, and it stops, so I don't know what they're going, probably forward thinkers, right? So here we are, we committed to being in perpetual motion. We have inspiration, and Mylan's gonna sit there and take us into another area of how we can meet our goals and be further committed to ourselves and to each other.
Awesome. Thank you, good. All right. Well, let's kick off tonight. Well, tonight's already been kicked off. That was great. Thank you for sharing, you guys. And I know that we continue to see progress. Different individuals are experiencing that progress. And just want to encourage you all to just keep it up, keep going. Keep doing what you're doing. What are the 6 macro habits again? I want to do this repetition because I think it's good for us to remember and to really think about this, that it's way beyond just weight loss. So what are the 6 macro habits again? And you don't have to get them exactly, word for word, but just the general idea. What are the...
Get the right sleep.
Okay, sleep and energy management. Very good.
Health eating.
Yep, healthy eating and hydration.
Environment.
Healthy environment. Good. Healthy surroundings, but healthy environment. Yep.
Mindset.
Healthy mindset. Very good. This guy's gonna get an A.
Yes. I want to be on
Right?
this team.
So healthy weight management itself, and then healthy motion. So here are the 6 macro habits of health.
I'm taking a picture.
Yeah, there you go. Well, it's in your book.
He'll say,
But as we continue to move forward, we always want to keep in mind these different areas of our health that we're looking at, the different areas of macro habits that we're working on. And so obviously, healthy motion up there is the one. We talked about it last week. Does anybody remember the 2 types of healthy motion that we talked about?
Eat and eat.
Eat and neat. We're going to have to shut you down and give other people a chance.
Doing fine.
Everybody says, let him go, let him
I
go.
don't know how I can remember, to be honest with you.
So yes, eat and neat. So it's exercise, activity, thermogenesis, and non-exercise energy activity, thermogenesis. And we talked about neat last week. We talked about the fact that neat makes up the most of our calories that we burn, and most of the energy that we burn actually is through neat, not through the exercise activity, thermogenesis. So tonight we're going to talk about 3 core goals of the habit of motion system. And the 3 core goals are to increase our energy expenditure. It's important for us to be able to achieve a consistent balance of energy in and out to maintain our healthy weight. So some of you are already thinking, and I know when I talk to people, they're kind of like going, the program works. 5 and 1 works. And I kind of don't want to stop doing 5 and 1 because I don't know what the heck is going to happen when I stop, First of all, we'll walk you through a transition process. We'll talk about what your energy expenditure is, and we'll create a new plan based on what you need. But also installing these other habits all work together. Next week, we're going to talk about sleep and energy management. That's part of it. Obviously, we talk about health and nutrition. That's part of it. We're talking about motion. That's part of it. All of these things come together. That's why this book is so stinking thick. That's why we need all the stuff that's in there, right? So, some of the things to keep in mind, and some of you have experienced this. We've actually had conversations, coaching conversations about it. When your weight goes down, your BMR goes down. Anybody remember what BMR stands for?
Body mass index.
Nope, that's the BMI. There's all kinds of the basal
Metabolic index. No, rate.
rate. Very good. Very good. Yeah, that's the energy that your body just uses on a daily basis without doing anything, right? That's the energy that you're...
I heard 6 things.
Yeah, basal metabolic rate. Basal metabolic rate. That's the energy that you expend just going from here to there, your heart pumping, your lungs breathing in and out, all of those kinds of things, your brain function. Your brain actually uses a lot of energy. So as your weight goes down, your BMR goes down. And so sometimes what happens is our body reaches a new equilibrium, and that's where a plateau happens in our weight loss. And so we've got to do some things to throw that basal metabolic rate and our energy expenditure off, right? So obviously a lot of people enter this program concerned about having to do exercise and things like that. Most people think, oh boy, if I'm going to lose weight, I'm really going to have to get into motion. I'm going to have to do a lot of stuff. But we first focus on nutrition, and now we're moving into movement. And I think everybody in here has been on program long enough that we can start ramping up the movement stuff, right? So, last week I said this, you can lose weight on this program without any exercise. You really can. And lots of people do it, especially people that have physical limitations and they can't do exercise. But you cannot attain optimal health without exercise. And remember, we don't want to just lose something. Our goal isn't to enter this with a negative mindset. We want to lose something, but our goal is actually to gain something. We want to gain optimal health. And part of the process of gaining optimal health is first losing that excess weight that's causing us to be unhealthy. All right, the second one here, optimize cardiovascular health. There we go.
Time to drink.
Am I done? Optimize cardiovascular health, strengthening our heart, our lungs, and our blood vessels to deliver enough oxygen to keep our cells functioning properly, especially our brain. So part of the reason that I think people experience brain fog is because our cardiovascular system is compromised in the way that we live and when we're unhealthy and when we're overweight. As we lose weight, as we begin to increase motion, that increases our blood flow and everything benefits. All of our organs benefit, and especially our brain. And then the third kind of main thing is to build a strong, healthy support system of bones and muscles. The frame that our body uses to get around in life is extremely important. And if we notice, as we get older, that frame has a natural tendency to break down. And when we are overweight and when we're not practicing healthy habits, all we do is we speed that process up and we make it more difficult to maintain that vitality. So we want to keep ourselves active and fit. And when we have strong muscles and bones, we decrease our limitations into our 70s and 80s and even into our 90s. I watched a 60 Minutes special I think it was last week or something like that. And they're studying people that lived in this certain community, old folks community in California, way back in the 80s. And now many of these people are literally over 100 years old. And they interviewed this one woman who still goes out and she exercises every day. And she's 101 or something like that. It's crazy. And she acted like, I would have swore she was 70. But anyway, my dad is actually a really good example of this. Can I tell him your age, Dad?
Sure.
He's 84, and his body is in great shape. But I know that my dad has taken care of that. He's worked hard throughout his life, and we have good genes too, don't we, Dad? That's nice. But I know that he's worked hard to keep his strength and vitality. So, some of the things that help us to kind of think toward this too, because I know some people enter this program and exercises, just thinking about exercise is like, whoa, I can't even fathom that. I can't even imagine what that would be like. But part of what we want to keep in mind is that as we lose weight and gaining energy, the exercise actually gets easier. And as you go through this process, you'll find that there's a window of opportunity that opens up. And it's during that window of opportunity that we really need to step into that engagement with our exercise. Right? For one, our weight is going down. Like I said last week, there's less resistance from gravity. And there's a lot of other health benefits that are happening. So, this is what it says in the book. I underlined it, and then I took a picture of it. Sorry about that. Anyway, 30 minutes a day equals a lifetime of health. That's all it takes. 30 minutes a day of moderate activity for a lifetime of health and longevity. And that's because the NEAT system, the one we talked about last week, is already contributing the lion's share of your daily energy expenditure through your 10,000 steps a day or other S's. We talked about that at the end. But the EAT system builds on this foundation by increasing your energy expenditure even more as you train and optimize your cardiovascular and musculoskeletal systems. So we want to start with the NEAT. We want to increase our exercise, just doing daily random things. But then we want to really begin to think about, if some of you aren't quite there yet, but we want to think about then incorporating some exercise.
Question,
Yeah,
should we lose all of our weight first before we go into exercise?
not all of it,
Okay,
a significant amount.
okay.
And then even when we do enter into exercise, we don't want to go into, and we're going to talk a little bit later about how much do we go into that, right? So we want to start a process, and it's just like any journey. You know, you don't want to just like, teleport to the end. We need to walk, right? You need to take the steps to get where we're going. Okay, so just as a review, NEAT is the non-exercise activity thermogenesis, voluntary and unconscious movements that we make as we go about our daily lives, right? We talked about that last week, and great way to lead in this evening about that reminder that we should be in perpetual motion, right? So tonight we're going to, whoops, I got this quote from Dr. Anderson. We better read this one. Exercise activity thermogenesis, EAT, helps you optimize your health through specific, regularly scheduled exercises that boost your energy expenditure and significantly improve your all-around health. So that's what we're looking at tonight. We're looking at the exercise activity thermogenesis, planned physical activities we perform in order to increase our energy expenditure and improve our overall fitness. So here are the progressive levels of EAT. And this is what you were asking. This is about the different levels. So we want to start with a walking and fitness program. How many of you guys have any exercise equipment in your house? Like maybe a treadmill or something like that? Okay, all right. All of us have a beautiful community we can walk around in, right? Well, when the weather cooperates. And so in addition to our NEAT exercise, we can figure in a half an hour to go for a walk. Like we talked about last week, maybe taking the dog for a walk. That would be starting into the NEAT part of it. If you do have, like I have an elliptical machine at the house, I do 25 minutes on that in the morning, and that's more than, my heart rate's going and I'm dripping sweat and the whole deal. That's definitely level 1 of exercise activity thermogenesis. All right, level 2.
Sounded like level 3 to me, yeah.
What's that?
Well, if you're sweating up a storm and all that, sounds like level 3.
Well, it depends on how you approach it, right?
Man, we'll just start.
All right, level 2 would be weight and resistance training. Okay, there's lots of different ways you can do that. You can go to the gym and you can actually lift the iron. But I would say even there's a lot of calisthenic exercises that you can do, push-ups, things like that. So you're using resistance or gravity or whatever. And then level 3 is high-intensity interval training. Does anybody know what that is, or can anybody describe what high-intensity interval training is?
Get on that baby and go.
Well, yes, you can use one of those for that, but what in particular is,
It'd be like CrossFit or
okay,
CrossFit training, that's.
CrossFit, yep. They do a lot of high, yep,
You get your cardio really, really moving, and then you slow it way down.
Yep.
And you take a pause.
Yep.
And then you ram it back up again.
yep,
And then you take a pause.
right.
And I don't know the duration.
And your goal is to get your heart rate up. Boy, get it going. Warm down, right?
Type the dunes.
Yeah, like running up the
I
dunes.
think Rebel was in my younger years.
Yeah. So that could be like burpees. Does anybody know what burpees are? Those are, you don't like those, do you? Most people don't like them. Basically, you go down into a push-up, you do a push-up, and then you hop back up and jump up in the air, and you keep doing that.
That ship sailed.
But it might come back. That ship had sailed for me too, but it came back. And if you wanted to, it can come back. Now you may be able to do 3 of them, but you can always work up.
We're talking
Right.
about knee replacements needed, we're talking about hip.
I know.
I just wouldn't get back up.
I remember in wrestling, we used to do several of those different drills. We would do some different drills. One of them, pride builders. We called them pride builders.
You were like a teenager.
And
Yeah.
yes,
We're old.
yeah, I haven't done those in a long time. I'm just explaining what this high intensity interval training is, though. So basically, we would go down to the free throw line, back down to the half court line, back down to the next free throw line, back, and we would do that, right? And sprinting the whole time, but then we'd stop. Right? It would take us about 2 minutes to do that, but then you'd pause, and then you'd go at it again.
We had to wait for the heavyweight to catch up.
He,
Got a little breather there.
he never did. Yeah, not the one we had. Anyway, no, we'll keep moving. So anyway, to answer your question, Terry, there's different levels, different kinds of exercise, and they do build on each other. If we tried to go out and just do that high intensity interval training today, yeah, we'd be done. We'd never do it again. If we survived, we'd never want to do it again, right? So it's something that we can be thinking about and working toward. I went to the conference back in March, and I remember John Maxwell was speaking, and he was talking about business. But he was talking about, and I think I used this illustration here once before, that he wanted to be an excellent leader. Well, we know he's probably one of the best leaders in the world. I mean, he speaks about it and he does that. And he heard from a speaker when he was young that if you devoted an hour to something every day for 5 years, you would be an expert, world-class expert at the end of 5 years. So he decided he was going to do that. So for an hour every day, he read about it, he practiced leadership, he did different things, and he was constantly thinking about perfecting his leadership ability. And he said, for the first year, when he got done with the first year, he said, I got four more years till I get to be an expert leader. At the end of the second year, I've only got 3 more years till I become an excellent leader. It was about 2.5 or 3 years in that his mindset began to change. And he began to think, why am I going toward a certain end when really my question should be, how far can I go? And so instead of saying I'll quit at the end of 5 years, his mindset became, I wondered just how far I could go. Well, John Maxwell has answered that question. I mean, he's shown us that you can go far, and he's continuing to go and to excel and to become better, right? And so that mindset can be the mindset that kind of drives us even with our movement, with our health, with ultimate health, okay? All right. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to kind of, for the rest of our time, I want to talk about action steps because I think being able to install these habits, if we don't have good action steps, then we don't, there's nothing we can do with it. We need to know, okay, what can I do? Like I said, the journey thing, you can't just teleport, right? What are the next steps? What can move us forward in installing some of these things? So the first thing is we need to use that stop, challenge, and choose thing that Dr. Anderson talks about all the time. We need to stop, look at our situation. We need to challenge our presuppositions. We need to challenge our current choices. We need to challenge our current mindset. And then we need to choose. What do I want? Not what do I feel like I have to do, right? Like I said, I was surprised at what I gained back in my health journey so far. And so for me, I'm excited about where I'm at, but I'm like going, but how much further can I go? And so I'm still taking steps. So stopping, challenging, choosing. Just like you decided to start attending Health and Hope or decided to start your program, decide to incorporate this EAT practice, this exercise, activity, thermogenesis into your daily life. And to do this, you're going to have to ask the question, why? Why do I want to do this? Because my coach told me I'm supposed to. Because the life book says I'm supposed to. Because this crazy program never stops. No, we need to look at what our core motivations were. And some of you said, I want to be able to get on the floor and play with my grandkids. I want to be able to bend over and tie my shoes without, being out of breath. right? I want to go I want to go into my 60s or my 70s or my 80s or beyond and be strong and have that vitality. You see, those are the kinds of things that we can dig into and we can say, all right, I can do this. At some level. You don't have to do it at the, the highest levels, but at some level, right? So you need to ask yourself, is there a certain goal I want to reach or a certain level I want to attain? I know some people that in their 60s got healthy and then decided, I'm going to try to run a marathon. Or I want to compete in the community 5K this year. And it's something that they'd never done before, but they said, I'm going to do it. The next is refer to your life book. So once you choose to decide to get in, to begin to incorporate some exercise into your life, look through the life book. Now, element 18 has a lot of really, really great stuff in it. So there was too much for me to unpack tonight. I'm really just kind of going over the surface. And the thing, again, that I love about the life book is it's accessible. This whole strategy, this whole system is accessible. Just about anybody can find a starting point. So being able to go through here and use the information here to find out, well, what's my starting point? What can I do now? Not what do I, envision down the road, but what can I do now to get things started? Okay? Whoops, that one is there. The next one, talk to your coach. Hello. I'm right here. And I love to help people come up with ideas. I still hope I can do, I've got this idea for doing a once a week kind of a workout thing. I'd love to do it right now. I'm trying to figure out, well, where am I going to fit that in, my time and everything else. But I'm still trying to think of a way to make it work. But I would love to get out and help people figure out how to get their bodies in motion and do some working out. Do some different core exercises. Sometimes, Terry, was it you that was mentioning the chair exercises?
Right.
I mean, you can start with a chair, and you don't have to have any special equipment, special clothing, and special memberships and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of ways to do that. So when you get to the point where you want to begin to incorporate some of those things, let me know. If you need help. Not everybody needs help, but I'd be happy to walk you through some of that stuff. Okay. The next one is make a plan. When you're making a plan, you have to be very careful not to compare your intensity level with others. Just like you don't compare your weight with others, you want to compare and compete only with yourself. You want to think about, where am I at? What do I need to do? And there's so many plans, so many ways to make a plan, and we want to make sure we keep it simple at first, right? The only equipment we really need is our body. I was shocked. Now, I hadn't been looking for this kind of stuff for quite some time, a few years or whatever. Several months ago, I started looking for what are some things that I could be doing. YouTube has video after video. I mean, there are hundreds of videos. And so, I don't know what to do is not a valid excuse. There are so many videos. And you can even Google, starting to work out at age 50 or 60 or whatever. And there are so many resources out there to give you ideas. There's tons available to choose from. You can get a trainer to help you put one together. You want to make sure you consider your level of ability. And you can find all these things online. And there are some introductory workout plans in your life book. Again, in element 18. So you can go there and you can find some things. Okay? All right. Set a cue. Set a cue. Find a way to cue yourself to do your exercise. Once you get a plan, find a way to cue yourself to do that. So whether that be, like I said, in the morning when I wake up, 4 days a week, I get on the elliptical. It's just part of my routine. That's my cue. My alarm goes off at 5:45. It's time to get out of bed. Go use the bathroom, weigh in, fill my water bottle up, go over to where my elliptical machine is, drink half the water bottle, and get on and go. And so that's my cue, that's my my reminder, right, to get started. What is yours? It could be you put it on the calendar. Again, we put important things on the calendar, don't we? We put meetings with other people on the calendar. Why don't we put a meeting for ourselves on the calendar? I'm going to meet with me, and I'm going to work out with me. And I'm going to put my earbuds in, and I'm going to listen to some great music, and I'm going to move. Sometimes I pray while I'm doing my elliptical. It's just a great way. It's like I'm walking with the Lord, and I'm just having a conversation with Him, right? So there's different things. Sometimes I kind of go over my day in my head. What am I going to do today? What meetings do I have today? All of those things can help keep you moving. What daily routines can you put into place? Maybe your cue is a workout partner who says, it's Tuesday and we're working out today, right? And then the next week you have to remind them or whatever. But set some cues, some things that are going to prompt you to actually do, to work your plan.
What do they say? It takes 21 days to change a habit.
To make it
Yeah,
happen.
to make a habit.
To make a
Yeah.
habit, to make it a habit, okay.
I think it takes longer than that for me, but somewhere around there. Yeah. Okay. Build in accountability. Accountability is huge. Those of you who've been coming to Health and Hope, almost all of you have said being there on Monday nights is huge for my health journey. It's helping me to be here, right? So, and I think part of that is the accountability. You know that once a week you're going to meet with all these people. They're going to tell you how much weight they've been losing. I want to be able to say how much weight I'm losing, right? And it's the same with building in accountability. You can build in accountability through your health coach. You can talk to me about your plans, and I can ask you next week, how did you do with that? Right? Terry, did you become a perpetual motion machine this last week?
I did.
Yes, yes. And your coach is going to go, great, good job. Accountability can be a friend or a workout partner, right? It could be somebody that you're going to be working out with. And if you don't show up at the gym, when you guys decided to show up at the gym, I let them down. And they're going to call me and they're going to wonder, where were you? A calendar or a log sheet. You can create a way to track your stuff, right? And there's a certain amount of accountability. At the end of the month, if I've got a whole bunch of blank spots, one of the things that I'm going to do, and I talked to Shelly about this. Shelly suggested that I get a Facebook group. I did make a Facebook group. I just haven't invited anybody yet. On the Facebook group, right now I'm in an accountability group through Kim and Jamie, my coaches, and what we're doing is through the end of May, we're doing this thing where every day we have to put in a post about how many conversations we're having online, how many friend requests we're putting out there, and how many different daily activities that we're doing. And I'm telling you, it's got me on fire. I'm like going, I don't want to show up there and be a slacker in front of everybody else. And so maybe we could do some of these things down the road too, where we begin to put in certain activities or certain things. And for 30 days, we're going to challenge everybody to be engaged. Creating a routine. This is part of your plan, but actually creating the routine. So what is my exercise going to look like throughout the week? You've got your actual plan, but then, and there's a couple examples in the book in element 18. But what is my routine going to be? So obviously you don't want to do the same exercises every day. You want to mix it up, but what does that look like? What do I do on which days, right? You may start with certain walking exercises 3 days a week. You may do push-ups 2 days a week, and you may, do some different things like that. But putting together a weekly plan, so when you wake up in the morning, you should know, today is Tuesday, so this is what I'm doing today. All right? All right, and then the last one is journal your progress. Journal your progress. This can be part of that accountability piece, but it's also really great to be able to see what your progress is. I started out, especially before I lost my weight, I was really embarrassed. I couldn't do 2 pull-ups. I couldn't even get my body up to the bar twice. I could do 1, and I couldn't even get through the second. Of course, I was carrying 35 pounds more than I'm carrying right now. This morning I did 15 of them, and it's been a progress, right? I've been able to journal my progress, that now I can jump on a bar and I can do 15 of them. And it's like, that feels good, man. I feel like, wow, that's cool. And it makes me want to do more. So being able to journal your progress and know where your starting point was, what you've been able to do all the way along, that also helps you to set goals. So now I've started to think, what if I could do 100 pull-ups a day? Not all at once. I'd have to do it several different times throughout the day, 10 here and 15 there and 10 more later. I did that with push-ups starting out, and now I can do 150 or 200 push-ups in a day. So that kinds of stuff can be the progress, but you got to journal that. You got to have a plan, and we know that starting is hard. We want to record the reward, and we want to track our progress, okay? And the reward itself can be reaching those goals and then pushing yourself further. Now, all of these things are about optimal health. And remember, from the beginning, we've been talking about the fact that, yes, we want to lose weight. That's beautiful. That's a wonderful thing. But at the end of the day, we want to begin to move past that. Some of you are wondering, well, when I get to my target weight, am I going to keep coming to Health and Hope? Well, that's totally up to you. But I would hope that you want to continue to be a part of this group. Now you can be in a mentoring role. You can be in an inspiration role. And you can be one who's helping others achieve their goals. All right? As we all move toward optimal health. Thanks for coming tonight. I appreciate you guys leaning in, for being here, for supporting one another, for supporting this program, and just want to encourage you to be talking to others, inviting people to come. And next week we're going to talk about sleep and energy management. What can we do to get better sleep and be able to manage our energy better? Okay? All right. Thanks. God bless. Have a great week.
Thanks, Riley.